82 Society. Have you caught up to the Dragon Ball Super manga? Have you watched videos or read the manga yourself? If so, stay here. If not, and you don't want spoilers, just click off this video before I continue this video, bro. Because this shit contains spoilers that are post anime. So, you know what I'm saying? If you've never seen the manga, get lost, nigga. 82 Society, welcome to another video. Let's do this. Okay, just had to check
Is one of
OBS
the
real
most
quick.
celebrated storylines in the entire Dragon Ball Super manga, with many fans regarding it as the series' most complete and well-executed narrative. When readers look back on Dragon Ball Super's run, it isn't the Tournament of Power or the Goku Black arc that consistently takes the top spot. It's the chilling, atmospheric, tension-driven story of Moro, and the reason for that is fairly simple. The Moro arc is the closest Dragon Ball Super has ever come to recapturing the dramatic storytelling essence of late Dragon Ball Z. It represents a villain who is not only terrifying and visually striking, but also equipped with an ability that fundamentally rewrites the rules of the battle. Moro's magic, his overwhelming presence, and his ability to drain life energy create a constant sense of dread that the series hasn't delivered in years.
Niggas' abilities are able to copy angelic abilities, like just because, like it just allows it, my nigga. He just gets MUI too, but it overwhelms him, but like it's still like, nigga, what? Like imagine if he trained like Goku said to him.
The arc restored the feeling of helplessness that defined Z's best sagas, and in doing so reintroduced the horror elements and mysticism that Dragon Ball has slowly drifted away from. Beyond that, the Moro arc provided meaningful development for both Goku and Vegeta, pushing them down new paths that felt refreshing and earned rather than convenient. Vegeta's training on Yardrat, Goku's deepening connection to Ultra Instinct, and the evolving relationship between Earth's defenders all felt more natural and mature than Super's earlier attempts at character growth. The world building also shined through, as the story expanded the universe's magical lore, introduced new planets and alien races, and raised the stakes in a way that felt organized instead of forced. The pacing was tighter, the tone was darker, and the combats were more tactical and creative than what the series had delivered in previous arcs.
Agreed.
This was a storyline that balanced tension, mystery, and cosmic consequence while still feeling grounded in the emotional framework that made Dragon Ball compelling in the first place. For a time, it seemed like Dragon Ball Super had finally found its narrative identity, something that blended the wonder of its...
He put a hole in this nigga Moro put a hole in this nigga Goku chest, dog. Like, come on.
Modern universe with the danger, fear, and dramatic weight that made Z legendary. Yet, even as the Moro arc pushed Dragon Ball Super to what many consider its highest point, it also made several controversial decisions that stirred backlash within the fandom. One of the biggest flashpoints of controversy in the Moro arc came near the very end of the story during the climactic battle of Goku's final confrontation with Planet Eater Moro. At this stage of the battle, Goku had already unlocked Ultra Instinct and pushed Moro to the brink. But once Moro fused with 7-3 and absorbed Miras's copied abilities, the battle spiraled out of control. Moro's body became unstable, his power overflowed wildly, and ultimately merged with the surface of the Earth itself, turning the entire planet into a ticking time bomb. Whis then intervenes, not to save the heroes, but to warn Goku. He points out a critical weakness located on Moro's body, emphasizing that if Goku doesn't strike that point soon, Moro will self-destruct and take the entire galaxy with him. The burden of ending this catastrophe falls completely on Goku, but when Goku tries to deliver the final blow, he's caught. Moro, now essentially fused with the Earth's crust, grabs him and immediately begins draining his energy. Goku is overwhelmed, rapidly losing strength, and for the first time since the beginning of the arc, even Ultra Instinct composure falters. Seeing the danger, the remaining Z fighters, already exhausted, battered, and nearly out of key, step in to support him. Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, and the others gather what little energy they have left and send it to Goku, through the reversal move of Spirit Fission which Vegeta used. Yet their combined effort, despite its sincerity, bears almost nothing. All of the surviving fighters pouring their ki into Goku is only enough to raise him from a drained base form up to Super Saiyan Blue. Not Ultra Instinct, not even close. The most elite warriors on Earth after a full arc of fighting can only elevate Goku to a fraction of what he needed. Then something unexpected happens. Out of nowhere, a colossal wave of divine energy flows into Goku, massive enough to restore his stamina, reignite Ultra Instinct, and give him the strength to finally defeat the Planet Eater once and for all. This energy source is eventually revealed to be WOAHH, the reincarnation of Kid Buu, who unknowingly channels the divine power of the Grand Supreme Kai through his body. WOAHH, still as just a child at this point in the timeline, provides exponentially more energy than Vegeta's Evolution Blue form, more than Ultimate Gohan, and more than the entire cast combined. And because this single burst of energy fuels Goku back to Ultra Instinct, many fans interpret this scene in a very literal and extremely controversial way. The conclusion a portion of the community jumped to was that WOAHH must be stronger than the entire main cast, including Evolution Blue Vegeta, Ultimate Gohan, Android 17, and anyone else present. Some even went further, suggesting that WOAHH's raw power output must be relative to MUI Goku himself. Otherwise, how could he have provided the necessary energy to reactivate Ultra Instinct? And since Oob is Kid Buu reincarnated, a portion of the fandom extended this logic backwards, arguing that Kid Buu in Dragon Ball Z must have secretly possessed Ultra Instinct tier power all along. According to this interpretation, Kid Buu was not only beyond Super Saiyan 3, but so overwhelmingly God tier that the original Z era characters never understood what they were witnessing. Supporters of this scaling point to several details. The Daizenshuu claims that the energy within the Spirit Bomb that defeated Kid Buu is immeasurable, implying its full magnitude couldn't be sensed or quantified. Some fans twist this into meaning that Kid Buu himself had immeasurable power because he pushed the bomb back before Goku could overpower him. Others highlight the fact that Kid Buu never demonstrated his true limit before the final clash, suggesting that he might have been far stronger than anyone realized. And to top it off, Dende mentions during the Tournament of Power in the manga that Majin Buu was one of Goku's most formidable opponents, a comment sometimes interpreted as retroactively a hint that Buu was on an absurdly high level even for Super Era standards. But of course, this is absolutely ridiculous, and I'm going to explain why. One of the biggest misconceptions that emerged after the Moro arc centers around Oob's sudden, overwhelming power output and what that seemingly implied for Kid Buu. A lot of fans looked at the final moments of the arc where Goku is being drained by Planet Eater Moro and concluded that Oob must secretly be operating on a level comparable to Ultra Instinct. But that interpretation collapses the moment you actually unpack what's going on. And the best way to start is by correcting one of the claims people like to use as evidence. The idea that the Spirit Bomb used to defeat Kid Buu being described as immeasurable means Kid Buu himself was operating on some bizarre, limitless Ultra Instinct tier plane of power. The problem is that immeasurable doesn't mean infinite, nor does it mean incalculable in principle. Dragon Ball uses the term in contexts that clearly don't imply limitless ability. For example, Goku himself demonstrates what is explicitly called immeasurable speed when he teleports off the exploding Earth before time can even advance. Yet after that moment, Goku's key strength and growth all can be sensed, quantified, and compared just like anyone else. So the mere fact that something is called immeasurable doesn't elevate it to God tier power. And once you look at Goku's progression after the Buu saga, it becomes crystal clear that Kid Buu is nowhere near Ultra Instinct. When Goku becomes a Super Saiyan God during the Battle of Gods arc, he outright states he never imagined a realm of power like this could even exist. This is Goku acknowledging that what he's feeling is far beyond anything he's encountered in the Buu saga, including the Spirit Bomb he used to kill Kid Buu. If the Spirit Bomb or Kid Buu were on some unreachable plane, then this statement would make no sense. You can even argue that Goku surpassed Kid Buu before the ritual ever happened. When facing Beerus in his Super Saiyan form on King Kai's planet, Goku worries that he might actually hurt Beerus if he doesn't go easy. Of course, we know he's dead wrong, but that's precisely the point. Goku only makes that assumption because King Kai told him Beerus was the strongest being ever, meaning stronger than Kid Buu as well. And yet Goku still entertains the possibility that his Super Saiyan 3 self might hold up. That means that he at least believed he had eclipsed the Buu saga level. And from that point on, Goku grows astronomically stronger with transformations like Super Saiyan Blue, Blue Kaioken, Ultra Instinct Omen, and MUI. The gap between Kid Buu and these forms is so enormous that pretending Kid Buu is anywhere near Ultra Instinct makes the entire power structure of Dragon Ball collapse.
That fucking claim is silly. Niggas said he has... Hold on, bro. Niggas literally just say he has God Ki. That literally just... Yes, Kid Buu possesses God Ki primarily from absorbing the Grand Supreme Kai, but he cannot consistently, consciously use it, which is why his power level isn't consistently sensed as godly until his essence is passed to Oob, who later accesses it with training, confirming Kid Buu had it all along, even if dormant. The nigga had God Ki, he just couldn't really tap into it, you know?
Now, once we dismiss...
Matter of fact, hold on. Here, just so niggas just don't even say nothing if niggas ever comment on the video. Where is that? Here it is. Wait. Is this it? Wait. Nope. It's a panel of Whis walking. So where's that at? Where is it? Where is it? Or did I miss? Hold on, let me see. Now, where the fuck is the panel? What the? Yo. See, I hate this because, like, here we are. For each and every part of your body to wait, where? Where's the panel? Because the good Buu inherited the great Lord of Lords' physical appearance, I assumed he received the God power as well. But maybe that maybe that power went to evil Buu instead. Boom. Here it is again. that little guy had actual god power in him. Like, and the nigga, like, that's so crazy. Who was saying that? Close to MUI. What?
The idea that Kid Buu has Ultra Instinct level potential, we can finally answer the key question. How was Oob able to restore Goku to full power? And the answer has nothing to do with raw power scaling. Or at least it doesn't have to. The series already provided multiple grand explanations, and the simplest here could be divine inheritance. Oob contains the reincarnated power of the Grand Supreme Kai, God Ki included. Earlier in the arc, it was stated that the Lord of Lords' magical abilities transferred into the evil Majin Buu. But energy restoration is a Kaioshin class's ability in general. Trunks, simply by being a Supreme Kai apprentice, could fully restore Goku and Vegeta despite being nowhere near their level.
Dang.
Zamasu can also do the same. There is precedent everywhere that Kai-born magic can recover the full power of warriors even thousands of times stronger than them. Oob, a reincarnation directly tied to the highest class of Kai, having that latent ability to restore Goku's ki makes perfect sense. His power output isn't what matters, his godly restoration ability does. But even if you insist it was raw power and not some divine technique, Oob still wouldn't be equivalent to Kid Buu. Oob is not a one-to-one recreation of Kid Buu. He is Kid Buu's reincarnation, meaning he starts at that level and only grows from there. Years have passed since the Buu saga. Oob has aged, trained, and physically matured. Even minimal training can yield monumental growth for Buu-line characters. The anime already showed this openly. Fat Buu trained for a handful of hours and suddenly became able to pressure a base Goku who surpassed Super Saiyan God when training for the tournament in the anime. The gains for a magical divine influence being like Oob would be even more explosive. He could easily exceed Kid Buu's old power just through natural growth. Add the Grand Supreme Kai's magic to that and the reason he could restore Goku becomes perfectly clear. But none of this has to make Oob or Kid Buu Ultra Instinct tier. And more importantly, it does not retroactively make Kid Buu Ultra Instinct tier either. Kid Buu was powerful, dangerous, and chaotic, but he's not a god-level entity capable of standing beside Moro, Granola, Gas, Black Frieza, or any modern Dragon Ball antagonist. The series progression itself shuts the idea down completely. So while Oob delivering god-tier restoration energy was a shocking moment and absolutely intentional narratively, it was never retroactively a rewrite of Kid Buu's power. It was simply a payoff to everything Dragon Ball had been setting up about Oob's divine origin, his latent talent, and the sacred role he's designed to play. And regardless if Oob would be at a high level of god-tier power, that would not mean Kid Buu used to be. Now, since we're already on the topic of Majin Buu, this naturally brings us to the next major point of controversy in the Moro arc, Fat Buu's sudden dominance over old Moro. This was the first moment in a long time where Buu wasn't just relevant, he was devastating, effortlessly putting hands on a villain who had already defeated both Goku and Vegeta. And because of this, some fans immediately latched onto the idea that this meant the entire cast had somehow been downscaled back to Buu saga levels, or that Dragon Ball Super had once again contradicted its own power scale. But that interpretation completely ignores the explanation the manga gives. It is directly stated that Buu most likely received a potential unlocking triggered by the resurfaced memories of the Great Lord of Lords, specifically his history with Moro. This is important because characters who are born with absurd potential but don't train like Buu tend to explode in strength in some moment of kind of mental or emotional magical limiter is removed. Even a minor unlocking of potential could yield massive results for a being like Buu. That's why the narrative presents this as a logical increase and not an inconsistency. And while it's also possible Buu became much stronger off screen since the end of Z, that explanation is actually less necessary, and least likely. The potential unlocking alone is more than enough. When you're dealing with magical, reality-bending bio-warriors created by ancient wizards, their growth doesn't follow normal Saiyan logic. Buu tapping into a higher percentage of his dormant strength is completely reasonable and far from a downscale. But speaking of Moro, Buu, and power levels, this leads us straight to the actual hot-button issue of the arc. The claim that Goku, Vegeta, and basically the entire modern cast cap out at galaxy level. And the reasoning behind this comes from a single line, Whis' warning that Moro's body might explode, taking the entire galaxy with it. And for some reason, that line blew up online and became the foundation for an entire downplay narrative. People began arguing that if Whis said the galaxy would be destroyed, that must mean the maximum power ceiling for all characters up to that point is only galaxy tier. And I'm not really sure why this argument was taken serious. One point that often gets lost in these conversations is the fundamental difference between the range of an attack and its attack level of potency, or AP. A technique that covers a large distance or threatens a huge area does not automatically scale to the same level of destructive power in close range combat. People mix these up constantly. In the Moro situation,
Drill. I got the
Moro's combat AP is galaxy level. Not even close. What he's describing is the catastrophic effect of a magically unstable, energy-bloated organism violently detonating while fused with the planet. A chain reaction and not a directed attack. Moro's explosion was a ranged threat, not an AP state. Even if the resulting detonation threatened an entire galaxy, that doesn't retroactively mean Moro in a normal stable form has galaxy-level punching strength, ki blast, or durability. He's a walking nuclear meltdown at this point, uncontrolled, deteriorating, and far from what he'd be able to produce in a stable state. This interpretation also ties to another overlooked element of Dragon Ball. A character's mental and emotional state drastically affect how much power they can output. We've seen this dozens of times across the franchise. When Gohan snaps emotionally, like against Cell, his power skyrockets far beyond what he was previously able to summon with logic alone. Frieza loses control on Namek and his ki leaks wildly as he screams in rage and panic. Goku, in various points throughout the series, fails to maintain Ultra Instinct once his emotions slip or his mental state destabilizes. Vegeta in the Zamasu arc also unlocks a new level of blue after getting emotionally charged due to his the mind shapes the ki, and this is the core rule of the series. So when Moro is panicking, unstable, and stuffed full of stolen energy he can't control, his power is not representative of his real stable AP. He's basically a bomb with legs and nothing more. Whis' warning about the galaxy being destroyed is not a durability feat for Goku, Vegeta, or anyone else. The fear isn't Goku can't tank a galaxy-busting attack, that's not what the scene is implying at all. The real danger is that the Earth would be obliterated along with every nearby star system and world that these characters need to survive. Goku and the others would die possibly because they cannot live in the vacuum of space. They would either lose oxygen, ecosystems, or every celestial structure they rely on. Their physical bodies can't adapt to raw cosmic energy despite their ki durability. In situations such as that nature, once you separate range versus AP, mental instability versus stable output, the entire galaxy-level moral argument falls apart completely. A perfect comparison that exposes the flaw in equating range with attack potency is the parallel between Planet Fusion Moro's exploding body and semi-perfect Cell's self-destruction during the Cell game. When Cell self-destructs, the results are extremely telling. The explosion is powerful enough to instantly kill Master Super Saiyan Goku, a version of Goku who is far beyond star level at that point in the story. Considering the fact that Frieza in his first form destroyed Planet Vegeta with one finger, and Planet Vegeta having 10 times the normal gravity of a planet makes it dwarf star level in comparison. Master Super Saiyan Goku at this point is hundreds if not thousands of times stronger than Frieza. Even King Kai is shocked by how powerful the explosion is despite his planet being tiny and seemingly insignificant. And here's the important detail. Cell's explosion barely destroyed anything outside of King Kai's tiny planet. Snake Way is still intact in the background. The surrounding area of the other world remains untouched, and King Kai's tiny planet is really the only thing obliterated. Yet Goku, a fighter capable of tanking planetary star-level attacks, is killed instantly. That alone proves that the reach of an explosion does not define its AP. Think about it. Snake Way is about 1,000,000 miles long and sits extremely close to King Kai's planet, yet it's visually shown completely unharmed when we see Goku and King Kai in Otherworld. If Cell's explosion truly scaled to its lethal AP, Snake Way would have been vaporized 10 times over. But it wasn't. The explosion had a minimal range but massive concentrated destructive power at its center. Just because the blast didn't expand outward into a star system level of annihilation doesn't mean it wasn't strong enough at the point of origin to kill someone massively over durable than the planet it destroyed. And this is the exact situation with Moro. Both explosions share identical traits. Unstable body overload with energy, magic or ki fusion causing catastrophic internal failure, a detonation strong enough to kill high-tier fighters, and a range limited by the nature of the explosion itself. Cell exploding didn't wipe out Snake Way, and Moro exploding would destroy the galaxy by chain reaction, but not by the raw AP. Both are more fearful in their range-based catastrophe, not statements about their punching strength or beam durability. This parallel completely debunks the idea that Moro's galaxy destruction is an AP benchmark for the fighters involved. So, if anything, just leave with taking this from the video. Range does not equal AP. They can be synonymous, but they don't have to be. Something could be potent enough and have the AP to destroy an entire universe, but it doesn't have to destroy the universe when it impacts something. It's just not how scaling works.
WVid. I don't usually even watch Galaxy level is bullshit, which contradicts source material as even in early Dragon Ball Super. Goku destroy entire universes. Gogeta and bro. Okay, this thing barely broke the dimensions, which should not be possible if they are just galaxy level. There are multiple other feats like Vegeta breaking the rules. In conclusion, this is bullshit. One of the most pathetic arguments people use to downplay Dragon Ball. Goku far outclassed galaxy level even in Blue Saga. True that. True that. True that. True that. I agree. For years, the Moro arc has been framed as a downgrade, poorly written, poorly scaled, and forgettable compared to what came before. But once you actually break it down, a lot of people believe about this arc is just flat out wrong. That is facts. In Daizenshu 7, it said that after the Namek Saga, the character became so strong that the power levels were too great to be measured numerically. This makes me wonder why the Spirit Bomb having immeasurable power is something insanely impressive. Yeah, bro, this is why I just don't fucking involve myself in power levels. But we gonna come back to bro. We gonna stick to like, we might do the how far series, and we gonna hit these. It's a couple videos I want to check out of his, but that was a dope little video of his, bro. But again, that's why I don't fucking dive into power scaling or fucking debating shit, like, bro. You know, I just vibe, bro. Just vibe, bro. But anyways, y'all, you know, well, I mean, it depends on what the debate is for like who I think is stronger, or who I think is a better character and shit, or whatever, or who I think cooler, whatever. But you know, that is it, y'all, for today's video. Go show that bird some love. You know, my guy got some cool videos on here. You know, I've seen him before, even prior to starting this reaction channel. I've been watching him before, and you know, I think his videos are dope. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? His channel will be in the description like all the others. And with that being said, y'all, go ahead, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the video, turn on the fan business content. Damn. Go ahead, leave a like, comment, subscribe to this video that made fuck, bro. I forgot my own shit. Hold on. Go ahead, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the video that fuck. What is it? Go ahead, leave a like, comment, subscribe to it, share this video to another friend that may enjoy this type of content, and I will see y'all in the next video, y'all. I'm not repeating this shit again, I ain't gonna lie. Shit's cooked. But I'll see y'all in the next video, y'all. Peace.
Yeah, I know you ain't no hoe if you ain't bring chicks, so I tell a bitch get busy. Gave a little bitch my heart, I was broke from the start, now I can't see shit. Okay, late nights games in the dark, they tryna shark shit. I struggle tryna keep my mental. Might tell mama your baby been reading again. These drugs and fuck my head up. Man, fuck, I can't find my geek up. Yeah, switch my hoes to season. Yeah, that's why I can't keep